What up, y'all? Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. Today we have the moon. Illusion, intuition, fear, subconscious, anxiety, delusion, anxiety again, and deception. So your biggest fear is about moving forward, because you have an illusion around it. I acknowledge and let go of insecurities and self-doubt. So this is the moon card. They answer any question you might have right now? No. This is Pisces, and there's a third eye card. Element is water. So you see how there's this dog baying in the background? Or right there, right? And the other one's just looking at it, right? Because he's afraid to. The brown one's looking up and seeing the face on the moon, but the other one's afraid to look at the face on the moon and is busy looking at the dog. The one that's baying anyways. That's because there's an illusion of fear. The dog who's baying is following his intuition. This is the realm of the subconscious. And currently you're in a state of anxiety, delusion, and deception. So what does this mean? I acknowledge and let go of insecurities and self-doubt. So you're having an illusion of your insecurities, but that's what your illusion is. Okay. You're finding yourself in a situation to where you're afraid to move forward. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I saw something on my dash. I like to keep my car clean. Oh, 1 second. Anyway, so you're in a state of fear, and that's your illusion. Okay, you are living in insecurity right now, and that's what's getting you down. Does it say depression? No, it says deception. So, the person who's deceiving you is yourself. So the dog staring at the dog who's baying at the moon, right? That dog's deceiving himself. The other one's looking up, staring at the face, completely fine. The other one's thinking, oh, if I look at that face, I might get smited. Feel me? So the truth is that you are tits up amazing, okay? But your deception is that you're not, okay? And that's because you're insecure. You have anxiety due to this insecurity. So, trying to think in my place. Well, now I have the insecurity of me living in my Jeep and being homeless. But on the other hand, I realized that the moon also represents, or I've heard it said, the moon represents mystery. Okay, and so it's on the fool's journey. It's the moon. There's doubting, there's insecurities, there's what ifs, right? Of if you travel this road. Now I feel personally that I'm on my road right now. So in my case, I'd be traveling, through the moon or whatever that energy is, because I've moved forward and I'm homeless now. And sometimes starting from base 1 is the best. And I just so happen to be starting from base 1 with the 2021 Jeep Renegade. I mean, I'm doing good, right? good gas mileage. If I wanted to, I could run it all day long, and it would take an eighth of a tank. I just choose to save my gas. Trying to scratch for every dollar and penny I got. That way I can advance myself. I got this idea a couple of videos back. I put that you need to focus on what your 5-year is, but mine is an 8-year. Okay, so by 2032, okay, I want to own a house. I want to own my own house. Something that my rules are what the rules are. A place where if I'm at and somebody like is pushing me to the point to where I feel insecure, I can say, hey, you know what? This is my house. Have a good day. Goodbye. That sort of thing. And I feel like maybe you have a goal too, and it might be as big as a house, right? It might be as big as wanting to buy your own home, that sort of thing. See, my thought is that I'm in this Jeep right now and I'm comfortable, right? And car payment is something I have to pay no matter what. Rent payment is always higher than car payment, okay? So so I'm really starting to feel like maybe YouTube just needs to be my second job. I need to stop worrying about getting a second job, because I can put out more content, I can handle my life, that sort of thing. Don't know, just thinking about it. But maybe there's something in your approach towards your 5-year or 8-year goal that you need to consider. Doing one thing makes another suffer, and the question is, what is it that you want to do? So in my case, I want to do YouTube, right? I enjoy this. To me, this is fun. And it's not, I don't personally like the look of my face or anything like that, and I don't like to hear myself talk or nothing like that. I just like to be able to talk to somebody. You get me? And so with all that said, you're facing this mystery, right? What if that big old face comes down and smites you, and you're like the yellow dog as opposed to the brown dog? You see what I'm saying? But the brown dog's staring just fine and has no issues. So these are the battles of your subconscious, and your subconscious is one of the key factors that can lead you to anxiety or feeling anxious or in fear. But the key thing to remember that the moon comes with is intuition. And I'm a firm believer in intuition, okay? I live by my intuition. That's the only thing that guides me, okay? That and God, but God is your intuition. I don't know. You don't. God tells me wake up, it's time to wake up. God tells me do this, it's time to do this. It's pretty simple. And I have no, I feel like the Christian perspective is like a master versus peasant thing. And sure, what I just said sounds like a master versus peasant thing, but it's never like that, okay? It's always that I'm rewarded. If not immediately, then in folds later, but it still pours out as it's going before the big, crescendo, right? But so maybe because the moon's also, to me anyways, the moon's also a spiritual card. And so maybe you're going through a spiritual upgrade or an ascension, and it's mysterious, overwhelming, and scary to you. I know it was for me when I first started. Um, I had a vision of me on the Oprah Winfrey Show, and I started asking the world, how are you doing? And what I mean by that is, how are you doing with the relationship with yourself? And then as it continued, I started to realize that these weren't thoughts that I normally have, or this wasn't the way of my normal thinking. And I started to realize that there was a conversation being had with me outside of me. And because it's not the answers that I get, they're not of me, okay? And this started many years ago. I want to say like 10 years ago. I started having this happen, and I was spooked at first because this conversation, it just didn't really stop very often. It was like a constant from the second I woke up to the second I laid my head on the pillow. It was a constant, and I was kind of worried, right? I was kind of worried that, you know, something might be going on or something like that. But truth be told, everything was fine. And that's why, you know, because I've spoken to psychiatrists and I've spoken to therapists, and I've told them that I hear God. I do. And you can put me anywhere you want to for that, and they all just smile. And no, it's all right for you to hear God. So maybe you need to know that, okay? Maybe you're a person going through a spiritual situation, spiritual upgrade, and maybe you need to know that it is completely okay to hear God. And by the way, God is where your intuition comes from anyways. If you need me to explain it further, I will, and that's this right here. I always used to say, so Adam and Eve in the garden, right? They had dominion. They had dominion, or another word would be, oh goodness, it's right on top of my tongue, not serenity, it'll come to me. Anyways, it'll come to me. But they had dominion over the world around them. They were sovereign. There we go. They had sovereignty over the world around them. Okay, they could speak to the birds. I don't know if it was referenced or not, but I feel like they could speak to the trees and the very earth around them. They could speak to the fish. Okay, and so I ask you, there's an answer. How did Adam and Eve speak to both the birds of the air and the fish of the sea? How did that work? Right? And the answer is imagination, right? And emotion. Okay? It's very important. Okay. So your imagination is a window, kind of like the moon is. Okay, you can women's menstrual cycles are based off the moon. There's lots of, I mean, and that's just the obvious one to slap you in the face. If you look, we're all focused on the sun cycles, but if you focus on the moon cycles, you'll see that the moon cycles are more faster paced, right? They happen every month. The moon cycles do, and they have a direct effect on our environment. And so maybe you're going through a time of mystery to where you're starting to hear from or connect with God, and you're thinking to yourself, I must be crazy. I'm hearing this stuff that doesn't even fit with the way that I think. And what do I do about it? And the answer is you embrace it. It's real, okay? And the way to know for certainty if it's good or bad is to ask yourself in your heart, not are you good and bad, but are your thoughts, are your, see, it doesn't even have to be your actions. It really your thoughts. And maybe the things that you say to people, are they evil? Are they begrudged? Okay. Do you spend a long time thinking about doing evil or illegal things? Okay. There was a point in my life where I was a meth addict, and all I wanted to do was get more meth. And so I was more than willing to do all sorts of heinous shit. So at that point in time in my life, I would have been evil, okay? But the big thing to get out here is that just because you were evil yesterday doesn't mean you have to wake up evil tomorrow. And to some of y'all, maybe that's part of what it is the letting go of the old way of thinking, okay? And it's hard, and it's mysterious, right? It is, how do I act in the world outside of how I've always acted, right? How do I change who I am and how I handle myself in the world, okay? And it's difficult, okay? But you gotta focus on, this saying, turning a new leaf. You have to focus on yourself to realize that as a human being, being human, you are multifaceted, okay? So it's not so much turning a new leaf so much as it is applying attention to another facet of yourself, because you're multifaceted, okay? If this way don't work out today, it's all good. Find that other facet of yourself, that part of yourself you didn't know existed, and then move forward with it. Yeah. So you need to reflect. This is a water card. Water has reflection in it. You need to reflect and look at the things that your intuition is busy telling you, okay? As opposed to what your mind is telling you. Follow your heart, okay? And by doing so, you'll be following God. Y'all have a great day. Love y'all. Make sure you like and subscribe.